As we move along today, I'd like to ask a favor, although asking for favors these days usually means you're about to get impeached again. According to the Democrats, asking for favors is a high crime or a misdemeanor or something, that what they want to tell you about. But I'll just go ahead and do it anyway. I'd like it if you can keep in mind the times that we're in right now. It's been said in the past, not even the past few years, far beyond that our country is at stake. How many times we've heard our country is at stake? The founding principles are at stake. The Constitution is at stake. These phrases and talking points have been delivered to you by those who repeatedly trample these very ideas. It's disgusting, despicable, that despite these egregious offenses of protections granted to us by our own Constitution, these offenders continue to water down, dilute, and oftentimes politically shred the very fabric of our sacred republic. The following speaker is an outspoken conservative activist and is the chairman of the Coventry Republican Town Committee, a member of the CTRA, NRA, CCDL, and holds a bachelor's in business economics and finance from the University of Connecticut. He is running for town council this year in his hometown. He and his wife recently welcomed their first child, Nathaniel, who was born just a short time ago on June 29th. He is a successful financial advisor and is the co-founder of TPAC 2020, a federal super PAC dedicated to the re-election despite what they want to do, of President Donald J. Trump. He is a strong conservative, constitutional advocate, and has been intimately involved with Connecticut politics on the state and local level. Most recently, he ran for chairman of the Connecticut Republican Party and received excellent grassroots support. And let me just say, when you're receiving grassroots support from people that you live with and that you talk to, that's the best way. Remember, a government closest to the people is the best government, as Mark just had cited Thomas Jefferson. Always a good person to cite. As a conservative activist, he has worked hard to help Republicans across the state become elected and roll back the damaging tax increases, regulatory oppression, and economic slowdown caused by Democrat policy. He believes that the Connecticut Republican Party should seek a high level of activity and begin to educate and inspire the political leaders of tomorrow. Patriots, please join me in welcoming Matt O'Brien.
Thank you very much. This is a beautiful venue. I'm so glad we could all be here today. I like that sign over there. The left cares about their party. The right cares about our country. It says it all right there. Yeah, please. Good afternoon, Patriots. 243 years ago, 13 small British colonies boldly stood together with one voice and declared that they would no longer be subjects to anyone. They would oppose in war the greatest global superpower the world had ever known. And they would form a new nation with an important and radical central belief that all men are created equal, and because of that, no person would rule over any other. The people themselves would be free to pursue absolutely any path that they would choose for their lives. And they would be the masters of their own government, their own destiny. Since 1775, 1,354,000 Americans have given their lives in defense of American sovereignty, American exceptionalism, and America's right to exist in freedom. At times, the price for that freedom has been high. But we've never been unwilling to pay that price. America is a miracle. If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we have prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and ensured here than on any other place on earth. That's Ronald Reagan. The right will never accept socialism. And the left will accept nothing less. Be prepared. Those on the left will never allow a Trump victory, even should we win the popular vote and the Electoral College. The left will go absolutely insane, deploying every insurance policy weapon at their disposal to undermine the president. Antifa, the military arm of the Democrat Party, has not spent the last 3 years practicing and organizing merely to sit on the sidelines. They have used the time to mobilize and learn tactics while probing to find out what government will allow, media will trumpet, and the public will endure. The skirling resistance has morphed from pajama boy blobs of perpetually offended little dictators and pussy hat sporting screamers into balaclava wearing Avengers who crave the opportunity to put deplorables in their place and give you the government they think you deserve, good and hard. They will flood the streets after a Trump victory in their Antifa costumes, looking to bust the heads of anyone near enough to become part of their 15 minutes of YouTube fame. Be prepared. Riots will begin in liberal cities, including in Connecticut, where political leadership will provide them a measure of protection against identification and arrest. Antifa will be called the new founding fathers by the media. Blood will be spilled. China, Iran, Russia, and Venezuela will plead for calm and offer to mediate the ever-evolving humanitarian crisis. Be prepared. Should Trump not be reelected, the new president will issue executive orders throwing open our borders, banning fossil fuels, and of course implementing common sense gun control. They will start with universal background checks and a gun registry. Eventually, the new president will overreach, signing an executive order of gun confiscation, euphemistically called mandatory buybacks. I don't remember ever buying my guns from the government. Antifa will be tasked with flooding the streets in support of seizing these weapons of war. Media will declare it's the will of the people. For the right, that will be the last straw. We will not allow America to go quietly into the night. For once, Obama will have been proven correct. Americans do cling to their guns. Be prepared. We face a new kind of enemy today. Everything we value is under attack. This new generation of Democrats seek a socialist nation, a nation that desires to take our homes, jobs, health, rights, families, and liberties, and make us wards of the state, casting us into shells of our former selves, irrelevant participants in our own lives. And it is then that we will lose our freedom. I'm not willing to lose any more freedom. We must realize that no arsenal or weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon that our adversaries, both abroad and here at home, do not have and cannot understand. It is a weapon that we as American patriots do have. How do we fight back? Today we're graced with living under ROL, or rule of law. Our system, however dysfunctional and sometimes corrupt, is still working, thank God. In Connecticut, we must continue to find leaders to run for office who are willing to put their name on the line at risk of being humiliated, scorned, ridiculed, for those among us unable to speak for themselves. Where are the future leaders of Connecticut? Because we need you to step forward now. We're suffocating. This is what it feels like to lose freedom. I'll summarize our common purpose here today. It is the very same purpose that our founders had 243 years ago. Freedom from government and American sovereignty. We have every right to have a nation, uphold the Constitution, defend our borders from foreign invasion, speak freely our opinions without fear, live in peace, reject globalism, and exercise our unalienable right to bear arms and defend our families. We will never surrender. We again find ourselves at a defining moment in history. And again, we're called to step forward and defend America. But this time from the unrelenting threat of radical liberalism, an ideology that seeks to centralize power and rule over the entire world, that not only hates that we are free, but seeks to annihilate all freedom. I strongly urge everyone to help those good people running for office, especially in your towns right now. Municipal elections are in November. The people that share our desire to preserve the freedoms that we cherish and to restrict government in every way possible. Look around you. These are your brothers and sisters who will be with you through whatever is coming. It's our time and our turn to act. You are all here today because you've heard that calling. You know what's at stake. Work relentlessly and never, ever give up. God bless you.